Welcome everyone to Dev Diary number 8. The Dev Diary Twindle Dev Diaries. I'll sit a little bit closer. We can
get close.
I'm joined today by John Handy, the environment artist. We've stolen him from map creation because guess what he's done? He's made a map.
Only gone and made a map.
Yeah. Which is pretty cool. Let's just see the chat. We're live. You can refresh. We're fine now.
We're in no rush. We
are allowed to speak again. It's a very casual start.
Yeah.
Very casual. Casual right. Friday, I like to call it.
I mean, I'm not wearing shoes, so.
Okay. Well, I'm wearing shoes, but they're pretty casual shoes. Okay, so we made a map, and we have something very, very awesome to show you before we talk any more on that. So let's cut to that. Let's show you the map. Let's show you the amazing trailer. I'll show you what John's been doing.
Yeah, this was put together by Adam, right?
This has been put together by Adam,
yeah.
Yes. It's very awesome. So if I cut to this scene, which will definitely work and not have audio cut out, I'm mildly worried now.
Welcome to my game.
So, hello. We're back. That was not the way we intended to show that, but there we are anyway.
It'll be on YouTube afterwards, right?
Yeah, it'll be on YouTube afterwards, which I don't think YouTube's going to implode today. No. Maybe it will. Maybe it will. Maybe this is just one of those days. Maybe YouTube is the next target. So, John Handy,
hello.
International Man of Mystery.
Yes.
As it says in my notes. Environment artist.
I am indeed.
Yes. Right. Your thoughts on the trailer?
I love it. Very moody.
It's good.
Very moody.
Very moody.
Yeah.
I like the way that it shifts Deceit a little bit into this sort of solemn look out there in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
It's cold.
It's very cold.
Yeah, it's a little bit different from what we've done. We've done, obviously the asylum was all indoors.
Yeah.
And then the forest was all outdoors, and now we're doing a bit of both. You have a bit of outdoors and indoors, so
yeah
it's good.
Both. We said about that in the amazing me talking at a camera video that we did the other day. It was awkward. It was very awkward.
I don't think I've seen it.
Oh no, don't watch it, it's awkward. Okay, don't watch that. No, watch that maybe. Okay, so the map, Deceit Arctic, it's coming out hopefully later today.
Yeah, I think the patch is going
still
live
working literally just through that room.
Yep.
So, we are releasing a low prop version of the map right now.
Yeah, so
I heard the word set dressing a fair bit. Can we explain what set dressing is first?
Yeah, so
us normal people.
Yeah, in like simple terms, the way you go about making a map, you do the base, kind of like building a house. You know, you build your foundations, get that solid, and then you build on top of that and do extra stuff, and then you go more and more. And you know, if you don't do the base properly, then when you put all your stuff on top, then fundamentally you're going to have an issue. So what we've got now is a really good start for the Arctic. You know, it's, as you've seen from the trailer, it's very atmospheric. You've got all the snow, but you'll notice the inside's a little bit bare. I mean, in terms of like theming, a lot of the rooms are a little bit bare, but as I say, it's all done, all works. It's good fun. But you know, in the next few weeks, we'll iterate on top of that, start adding more stuff in, and we'd love to hear. One thing I was talking to Craig about is we'd love to hear the community feedback on like how they like the map, and even if they have any ideas, like, oh, you know, what if people have come in from like Spain and they've made like a little Spanish corner and put flags and stuff up?
Well, kind of like our office then.
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. Unfortunately,
so it's Carlos's corner.
Carlos, Spanish corner. But yeah, so basically over the next few weeks, we're going to iterate on top of what we're releasing today, and just flesh it all out and make it feel really full and tell a little bit of a story through the environment, which will be good.
Okay, it's gonna be cool. Yeah, the way you guys described it to me, it was kind of like you put all that stuff in afterwards, and you have to think about where you place everything. So one of the things we talked about really briefly before this stream was how they're talking currently. Do we have no audio again? I'm gonna cry if we have no audio again. I'm not sure if that's a troll.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us? Hello? Are we alive?
What's the
Are we
delay like?
It's about 30 seconds-ish, not even. I'm gonna assume we have audio still.
We can hear you. Okay, good.
I think we. Okay.
Cool.
Oh, thank goodness. That was worrying.
The troll is real.
The troll is real. The troll is real. Sandra, you trolling man.
So,
it's fine. Okay, cool. Right. So yeah, we were talking about when you make a map like this Arctic map.
Yeah.
Leaving it bare for now is actually kind of cool because it allows us to do the set dressing, as you guys call it.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that little term.
I'm scared when we say.
Do it.
I'm scared when we say bare. It sounds like it's unfinished. Like the whole map works. You know, you'll see when you go. I mean, you can see from the trailer we just played.
Yeah.
Like it's really atmospheric. We've got a lot of like snow effects going on, and instead of like poison gas, like I heard it was quite funny. I was playing a game of Deceit, and the people I was playing with didn't know I was a dev.
Right.
And they were like, "Oh no, we're in the great outdoors and we're dying from gas." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, that kind of makes sense." So
It can work though. I mean, look at World War One. They
That's
they
true.
Were outside.
That's true. Actually,
they
yeah.
got gas that was pretty horrible.
That
stuff.
made me laugh. So,
you know, it
but yeah,
exists,
so in this map we're having frost. Obviously, you're in the Arctic. It's gonna be freezing cold, and you know if you've got the default clothes on, you're in like pajamas basically and no shoes. So yeah, so it's a really cool game. Mechanics are pretty much identical, you know, but it's all themed differently. It's good fun, but it's not. I'm scared when we're saying bare. It's going to sound like it's not finished, but it's
no.
good.
I wanted to talk about how props can influence game balance, which is the interesting thing because we have these rooms at the moment, and some of them are kind of expansive. But I've seen some of the concept shots and the different ideas that we're toying with there, where we're looking at like different shelving arrangements. It's kind of like a really strange like Crytek version of IKEA. So I've seen some of those, and I've seen you guys toying around, putting stuff in, taking it out, and looking at that, hopping in the level after you put it in, and kind of running around and so on. So that is to do what? To influence how we go through the room?
Yeah, so obviously there's a lot of things to think about when you're making a level, you know, especially when you're making a first-person shooter. You need to think about line of sight, you know. One thing I think about a lot when I'm doing it is, say I was going to sit here and camp. Like, you don't want to create a spot that it's okay to camp and you're like in such an overpowered position that nobody can hurt you. So one thing we do is a lot is, like you say, jump in the game. We'll move stuff around, jump in the game, and like pretend like we're shooting at someone. And then I turn around and look and say, okay, if I'm here, where am I vulnerable from? And we try and create, you know, risk and reward situations where if I'm here, I can get a guy over there, but I'm also vulnerable from this side. So it creates, just trying to create gameplay basically that's fun and fair, but feels kind of fast paced and fluid. So yeah, with putting props in, I mean, we do a lot of, it's called grey boxing. We do a lot of grey boxing where you just put big grey boxes in to build up the level, kind of like Lego.
So you can test out those sightlines.
So you can test out the
before you start
sightlines.
building
Exactly,
something to go into that.
Yeah, because you don't want to spend like a week developing a really nice prop and then like put it in and be like, oh, actually this is a bit too big and it doesn't really work, and you have to change stuff. So again, about that fundamentals thing, if you start from the base and work up. So yeah, we do that. But adding props, we can actually, if after we launch this patch, if we find, you know, there might be, because you know it's really hard to like figure out how every single player is going to play the game. You can't. The best you can do is guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we get some feedback and we find some areas that are a bit OP or whatever, we can put props in, guide players a different way, and so props can actually add a lot to gameplay as well.
It's more interesting than just adding another wall in, I think. Hello, Ghoul. It's something that Ink Squid spoke to us a little bit about. He's someone who streams Deceit a little bit. Yes, he is. He is the notorious spoon man, which I'll get to in a minute. Actually, I hadn't laid that down, but we will mention that in a minute. So our notorious spoon man, Ink Squid, did mention he was a little bit concerned about how would it play out with sightlines, with areas where there's long stretches. How do you work out the vulnerability and so on? So I suppose there's your proper answer from the source, really, of how that works, how that works out, and how that iterates.
Yeah, it's all about iteration, you know. Yeah. There aren't many people in the game industry that I know of that can just make a map great straight away. In fact, if anyone, like, it's all about put a base in what you think is going to be good, try it. If it doesn't work, tweak it, and just keep iterating on top of these things, and then you just end up with a good map at the end.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There's, in fact, while we're on the topic of maps,
Mm-hmm.
do you have any favorite maps in any games? Any map you think is the map? Anything you shout out to?
First person wise,
Yeah.
I used to love Halo.
Blood Gulch?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
okay,
Blood Gulch
yeah.
was good because I used to play big like multiplayer games. But you know, if you're playing a SWAT, for example, like Team SWAT, like I used to love SWAT. What was I used to play? Oh, I can't remember the name of it. But they basically made this map in Forge, like the Halo developers.
Right.
I can't remember the name of it, but it was really good. All for these the same reasons. You know, sight lines, risk and reward areas. Can't remember the name of it though. But yeah, Deceit's the only FPS I played with.
Wasn't though.
What's that?
It wasn't Sandtrap. Horrible map.
No, definitely not Sandtrap.
Horrible map. Let's not mention Sandtrap. Okay, that's cool. That kind of takes us through a little bit of the map stuff. My mic is quiet. Okay, I'll just yell. I'll yell louder.
It might be because it's on the inside of your shirt. It's folded in.
It's all the gesturing. No, who put this on? Probably me.
Hello, Mr. John.
Hello.
Oh, George, sorry.
Hello. Okay, you can hear me now, probably. Try to not gesture too ecstatically. Yeah, so, right, that's kind of the thought behind map development a little bit there. So expect some balance-driven iteration and so on.
Yeah, make sure you're giving us feedback.
Yes, that
especially on this new map.
On this map is going to be crucial. The update, like I said, should go live later today, but part of the upcoming stuff to do with the patch schedule is going to be iterating that. Hello, Adam. Right. Okay. So there's that. We're only hearing you through John's mic.
Ah,
That's good.
so that means I can say whatever I want about you, and you can't argue back.
You can. It definitely
Sam
seems
smells
to
funny.
be here. This is a really good.
I mean, we could stick this in the middle.
We could just.
I could just hold this like this. Is this okay? I don't really want to do this the whole time.
I'll just. Hello. I'll just talk into this like this for the rest of the stream. Hello. Are we live? It definitely says in this little box. There's a little meter. You can see that it says
It's definitely moving.
Definitely moving. The
I'm just like staring down at your crotch, saying it's definitely moving.
Closer.
Asking to be a meme.
Closer. What are you guys trying to make us do? So right, yeah.
I mean, there's couch.
For anyone who's missed me talking for the last 5 minutes, or is sad that I'm now talking, yeah. So that kind of goes through a little bit of the map balance stuff and the thought behind it. Yeah, let's go through a little bit of the thought behind it and so on. So expect some balance-driven iteration on that.
Yep.
Expect some cool props to come in and fill in those little voids throughout the map. They are already being made. They are there, definitely intentionally. Still quiet. I can only yell so loud, Troll Wolf. I am sorry. So wow, this is everything letting me down today. Apart
I mean,
from
we
this
could
map, which
we
is
could
awesome.
pass the microphone if that works better.
No,
As
I
you
think
talk and then I talk.
we could.
And then
I
you
think.
talk.
Oh, there go the batteries.
Oh, I could talk the whole time.
Was that what it was? Was it batteries? You think it was batteries?
Need for all players.
It was batteries. We think it was batteries. Oh yeah. Okay. Goodness gracious, that's probably really loud now.
Do we
So
have
that's a
Deceit
wonderful
emoticons?
start.
Do we have Deceit emoticons
I
for our
don't think
chat?
I've made any Deceit emoticons. Just
We have some in-house.
hello.
We've made our custom ones in-house.
Hello.
That we use. Have you seen the?
1, 2. Oh, thank goodness! Right, it was a set of batteries. You played in a band before, right?
I did.
You
play
know,
in a band.
one of the reasons I never wanted active pickups on my
your guitar?
This moment. That's what it was. Literally, too
Someone
frightening.
says, "What map do you prefer to work on, out of the ones on Deceit?" It's a good question. I don't know. They've all actually been different, and all had their own challenges.
Right.
The Forest, making an outdoor map that's very not flat, but like there's nothing above each other. You make that a completely different way to making, the Arctic or the Asylum. So, but I think the Arctic's probably my favourite so far. It's been good fun. I've had to put some weather systems in. We've got the snow in, which is quite cool. Yeah, so I'd say the Arctic.
That's cool.
Sorry, I interrupted.
No, that's fine. That's fine. No, feel free to interrupt with interesting and map-related stuff. I mean, we spoke originally about the Arctic in a meeting, and we excuse me, we talked around different ideas with what we could potentially make, and that was the one that seemed to immediately stick.
Yeah, there was a few different ideas that came up.
Yeah.
Which we might still jump to. I don't know.
Which we might
so
still do.
not,
So I don't want to spoil. I don't
want
to spoil any of those, or hint at anything that someone might fall in love with that we might not make. But yeah, we spoke a little bit about what we were potentially wanting to make in that meeting, and as soon as I mentioned this, and I mentioned some of the stuff like films that I see as a little bit inspirational as far as that kind of isolated feel, I noticed numerous people on the environment teams kind of eyes light up. Is that something you do a lot of research on, other games, other films, other things like that as you develop a map?
Yeah. I mean, one of the first things we do is just get a massive reference board. When we have an idea, we'll just go and get references from everywhere, from comics, from films, from games.
That Strange Man's blog that I found.
Yeah. You found a blog from a guy who was in the Arctic and like had loads of photos of like some Arctic bases. And I was like, this is perfect. So yeah, just get all these different things and like collage them all together, and then, you know, whenever you're trying to think of anything, you just go back to this reference board and you look and you say, oh, that's quite cool. Or, you know, when you're doing art-based stuff, you actually, sometimes in your head you think it looks one way, and then you actually look at your reference board and you look at reference to the actual thing and you're like, oh, actually it doesn't work that way. Yeah. So yeah, it's all about, we just look at loads of different things really. Yeah.
That's cool. No, okay. I mean, I know we were really harsh with the deadline for this.
Yeah, it's been a bit rushed.
This has been one thing that's been on everyone's minds about whether or not it was going to get done in time and so on. How did that impact? I know, for example, we went through like 3 or 4 different concepts originally. Like, how did that impact with, like, when did you have the vision for this map, and how did that kind of play out?
Yeah, I mean, you make the map the same way, no matter what time you have.
Right.
So, you know, if we need it quicker, we do the exact same process again of like that fundamental, starting from the bottom, building up.
Yeah. Building the house.
Yeah.
I like that, building the house. It's good.
It's a good example. So yeah, I mean, so like obviously if you've got shorter time, you need to do less things, and I'm sure a lot of artists will say this, like artists can work on the same piece for their whole life and never be happy with it, because you've made it, you'll always find things to be picky about. And, you know, it's a skill in itself to just know when to just step away and just be like, okay, yeah, this is good, this works, and that's when to step away. So, yeah, but in terms of like when we find the sort of vision of the map of where it goes, like it happens the whole way through development. Especially, there's 3 guys basically on the environment team at the minute that are working, and obviously in our heads we all have slightly different ideas. So with this reference board as well, it's important to get, and Mike, our concept artist, to try and get everyone's ideas as close together as we can. So as we're working on it, we're all sort of aiming towards the same goal. But I mean, even as you're iterating through, like there's these things called happy accidents, which sound a lot worse than it is.
Bob Ross.
But yeah, have like happy little accidents, and like sometimes you'll do something and you're like, oh, actually that does work. Like grey boxing, I've had a few times where I've moved a box by accident and I've gone like, oh, actually that makes
That's
quite
really
an
good.
interesting shape.
Right.
So yeah, you know, in terms of like the final visuals and stuff, like it changes. It's an iterative process.
Yeah.
It just changes as you go along, really, and it'll keep changing as long as we keep working on it. So, but not like excessive. It gets smaller and smaller, the things that change. Like I'm not going to go and like get rid of one of the whole sections and like redo the whole building. Yeah, you just keep refining down to a point. Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, so that kind of that runs us through the map, through a bit of the development stuff, through a bit of the iterative fun stuff. For any devs out there working in CryEngine potentially, is there anything particularly cool that you came across making this map? Weather pun not intended there.
The weather, they have a lot of code in there already that helps.
Right.
The weather system's one of them. They have these things called rain occluders, which basically, without getting really technical and boring for everyone, basically you can say, I want snow everywhere. And it's got a system in where you can really just change the weather to whatever you want. So that was quite cool. I'd never used that before, this map. That was good fun. Yeah, I mean, CryEngine has its challenges, but has its rewards. Like, I've really, like, when we said we were starting to use CryEngine, because we actually started in Unity, I don't know how many people know this. We started developing in Unity, which is very easy to use, but for me, art-wise, is kind of lacking in some areas. Right. You need to add a lot of things onto the engine yourself to make it look really, really nice. Oh, that's my experience. We said we moved to Crytek, and up until that point, CryEngine, sorry. Up until that point, I hadn't used CryEngine. I just heard that it was really tricky to get to get your head around, but worked really well. But as we've used it more and more, I really like CryEngine now. It still has its bugs, don't get me wrong, but so does every game engine at the end of the day. So CryEngine's pretty good.
One of the exciting things for me about this, which is why I kind of draw down to that in some degree, is the stuff like weather and all this kind of environment work and so on plays quite well with the next project that the studio will be working on sometime in the not so distant future, where I'd quite like to see a variety of environments. I quite like the idea of potentially fighting in a swamp or a desert or a blizzard and so on, and weather effects and so on play really well into that. So it's quite an interesting thing that makes the world feel more real, more complete.
Yeah, everything we've done for this game will transfer over. All the skills we've learned, all the bugs we've worked out, will all transfer directly into our.
We were talking a little bit about rain in the forest as well, right? So we were talking a little bit about potentially testing that out. I don't know if that's still on the cards at some point.
Yeah, we could do.
I mean, that could be really awesome.
After doing this map, it shouldn't be too much work to implement something like that. So we'll have to see and have a talk about it and see.
I remember playing like stuff like Downpour on Call of Duty, and you really get that. I remember rain. I don't know if was there rain. I don't know. In my head, there's rain when I think of maps like that, and it does make the world feel like a little bit more real, which is cool stuff.
So we do that thing where you've grown up playing a game, you play it, and then you go back and play it, and you're like, God, I don't remember being this bad.
Right? It's completely different, isn't
I did that the other day and ruined one of my childhood games.
Oh no, never meet your heroes.
I know.
That's the rule, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I there's games where I go back to them. I went back to stuff like Chrono Trigger, and it's still kind of the way I remember it. It's just I remember it in 3D and really awesome. Whereas I look at it and I go, wait a second, this is a SNES game.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But on the topic of experiences, actually, we changed our new player experience. I think that's going in this week.
Oh, cool.
I don't know if you saw that. Is that this week or next week? It's a tooltip system that I was pushing for a little bit and bugging people about. So you played Left 4 Dead?
I have indeed.
Right, so you remember when you come up to stuff and you don't know what it is the first time you play and it
gives you a little.
And So we didn't want to make it quite that intrusive because that was slightly super annoying, if I'm entirely honest. But from either this week or next week, we have a tooltip system. So as you interact with stuff, you will get little tips telling you what it is. So whether it's the new fuse mechanic, which we'll run through maybe again in a moment, where it says like, look for these, it's dark, and then you go and get one that says, okay, go and take this to the fuse box, and the lights will eventually come back on. Or a lever and it says, okay, use this lever, or get a camera, and cameras are for this, and so on. And that kind of stuff is great when you're new, and it's also great because we can translate it for all the different languages that we're starting to support. So we've got, I think, Polish coming soon. We've got German, I believe, already. I think someone's working very hard on Italian at the moment. So we've got Portuguese, very, very keen, being great to work with. I think we've got Korean as well.
Nice.
I know we've got Russian. I'm really worried I'm going to forget someone, so I'm going to stop there and just disclaimer it. But yeah, we've got a whole bunch of people working really hard on translation. So translating those tooltips is going to make the new player experience for people in different languages really, really awesome. Yeah. Which is cool.
I just saw a guy asking an interesting question in the chat. Then he was saying,
"It's not the wheelchair thing, right?"
No.
We just ignore that. Okay. Right.
It was the. It was a guy asked if rain could dampen the sound in the forest. So if you're having the sounds in the forest and then it rains,
right,
would the sound be different? It's quite an interesting question. We have an audio guy here, Tom, who I know does a lot of stuff dampening a lot of sounds in CryEngine. So like if you're the other side of the wall, the sound will be dampened. Right. Which is really cool. So it's a good suggestion. We should probably look into that.
I saw him saying something about. I saw him say something about material-based sounds, right?
Yeah.
Something to do with mapping sounds across materials in the game.
Yeah. So I think. I mean, I'm not the guy to ask about this. Tom would definitely be the guy to ask.
He's probably just cringing in the corner.
He's like, no, you're doing it wrong.
You guys have no idea.
But yeah, no, like he does a lot of stuff with materials where it'll say like, okay, if I shoot this metal material, the engine looks at what the surface type is and then plays a certain sound and has different effects based on the material, which is quite a cool little system. Yeah.
So he does more things than make awesomely crunchy snow. He does some actually really cool stuff like that with the engine, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So you'll see a bit of that in the Arctic map. You'll see more of that as we add new stuff into the map. But it already exists to a degree in the other stuff. And yes, we can make dampened sounds as we dampen people with rain. So yeah, it's going to be a thing. So the other cool stuff we did around this week was Blackout Phase gameplay, which, how much of that have you seen actually?
I played a bit today.
Right.
At lunch.
I know you've had your head really buried in the map, so
we've been
feeding you bits of information.
Yeah, like I've kind of had tunnel vision the last few weeks, so I've just had my head down doing this. But and that's probably why you guys probably noticed in the patch notes, like every time there's the environment patch notes, it's just been like nothing because we've been working on the new map. So
making a map.
Yeah,
right, okay,
it's not very fun to say that. So
map still being made.
Yeah,
just every week.
So yeah, the nighttime gameplay I really like because I always found when I play Deceit, I find the blackout period, if you're innocent, you're just kind of waiting for the door to open. You're not really doing anything. And a lot of the time you're standing at the door, like just waiting, and everyone's stood there with the back to the door, just like looking backwards.
Everyone's playing. They're seeing out the good, the bad, and the ugly. Right?
Yeah.
It's that Mexican standoff at the end
which
with everyone.
To me is really, really, really boring. It completely stops the whole pace of the game. So with this new system that's gone in, it's really good fun because there's stuff to do in the blackout, and as well it makes it even more scary because you're moving around a lot more, so you're not as safe as just standing against the wall with your back to the wall. So yeah, it's good fun. Yeah,
so for anyone who hasn't seen those changes, check out last week's VOD, or check out the YouTube video where I awkwardly stare at a camera and try and remember everything. And I talk through a few things around that. To sum them really, really quickly, the blackout's going to be much longer. You're going to have more interaction between the terrors and the innocents, and you'll have to go out and actually experience the map a whole bunch more. So you'll have to go and get parts for a multi-part objective to be able to bring the lights back on, to be able to progress through the level. So you need to actually do some work towards your eventual escape, more so than sit around. Oh no, we're just drawing microphones.
Wasn't me.
More than sit around at a door, which is cool stuff. So yeah, check that out. Check out the videos around that on our YouTube channel at I think it's youtube.com/playdeceit. I guess it's probably at the bottom on Twitch.
I'm sure one of the guys in the office listening could drop a link as well.
I'm pretty sure it's at the bottom. Anyway, so we got the blackout changes. We got some combat changes coming in as well, I believe, this patch. Which leads me to one more cool thing before we take some questions from the chat.
What's this?
Which is, in fact, do you even know about this? New characters.
No, I haven't.
New characters.
I'd say I've had my head buried in my computer the last few weeks.
There's new characters.
Sick. Do we know what?
So we do. We're going to talk more about those next week. I've seen little snippets of lore in the editing process at the moment. I've seen some cool concept art.
Cool.
There's going to be not one, but two more new characters. Yes, we will do questions soon. An Asian chick is not a bad guess, actually.
What?
If I'm allowed to leak.
I haven't even seen these concepts yet.
They're really cool concept art shots. It's not the wheelchair reveal you've all been waiting for. But you will be able to see that next week. We will run you through those and talk more about that. So 2 wheelchairs. Yeah. You have to find out next week, folks. Yeah, you have to find out about that next week. But next week, I might even try and see if I can steal Mike. I have no idea. I don't know if that's possible though. He's definitely. He's not normally here on. He works remotely on Fridays. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But he's been working really hard on that. His concepts are awesome so far. We'll have 2 new characters sometime later in the month, I believe. So that's the next huge kind of content arc for us as far as creation stuff goes. Cool. So in addition to balancing the current gameplay, introducing new perks, introducing all of this new cool stuff, and bringing new players in, I don't know if you saw we got a sale on, all that kind of stuff. We're is that Green? We're adding these on Greenman Gaming. We got a sale on right now. So we're introducing these 2 new characters, which means we're going to have, I hope, unique games of 6. I'm not sure if we're going to stringently enforce. Oh, I see. So to do 6. Okay, yeah. But it's good if we do, because I feel like seeing who a person is then kind of rules out the whole temptation to stick in your scrubs and not really embrace the cosmetics. Yeah, yeah. So you see like yeah, it's like, oh, it's Chang in the default scrubs. You see, oh, it's Chang. Yeah. So then you think like, oh, it's Chang, right? So then maybe more so than numbers and names and so on. You know, Chang is Chang, or Alex is Alex, or Rachel is Rachel. Excuse me. Or a new character that may or may not be an Asian chick is a new character who may or may not be an Asian chick. So yeah, there's stuff like that. There is some talk about new terrors. That's definitely a ways off for now, though. We did have a different terror at one point, apparently. Were you here for this?
I was. This was when we were in Unity. In fact, if any really long-term...
I heard it just flew through walls.
So
didn't quite.
If any really long-term fans are here, we showcased the game at EGX London last year.
Yeah, it's just over a year now, actually. It's
been,
what, a year and a week?
Yeah, I think so. And that was really basic. But we had the other terror in that, the other concept for the terror in that, which was cool. It was very basic at the time. And it made a terrifying, like a noise as it ran, because it was on 4 feet.
Ominous.
Yeah, it was.
Right.
It was interesting. I think if we were going to implement that again, which we might do, I don't know.
Maybe.
We would definitely need to refine that a bit more.
Yeah.
Sure. But yeah, that was an interesting character for sure.
Okay. So there's talk about new terrors. There's takeaways from this stream is the awesome new map which will come out later today. The 2 characters coming up, and then potentially a new terror sometime after that in the.
Do we have cosmetics? I think.
Do you have cosmetics?
New cosmetics coming up?
Well, yeah, we'll probably showcase those next week.
Cool.
Because there's some stuff Yogi's been working really hard on a bunch of things.
Yeah.
He showed me some stuff around the new gameplay mechanics as well.
Yeah.
Like the med kit, which I won't get into.
Oh, nice! I haven't actually seen that
which
yet.
Looks really cool. So he's been making some awesome stuff, and he's been making some very winter-appropriate gear, which we'll probably be able to look at next week.
Yeah, I need to, like on Monday, I need to walk around the office and see what everyone's been working on.
It's like we can do a dev stream for you as well.
Yeah, we should do.
We'll just do like an internal dev stream.
That'd be good.
And the microphones will work for that. The batteries will stay good. So let's take some questions. Let's hop in the chat.
Yeah, someone just tagged at Play Deceit.
Yeah, so let's hop in the chat at Play Deceit or at Sam Hills, whichever is easiest for you. Throw us your questions, and we will awkwardly sit here and answer them for about 20 minutes or so.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, sure. That's good with me.
Right, that's cool with me. Right. Okay. So, Mr. Anonymous 1994. Hey guys, you just answered my last question. So on the spot, a new one. Could you ever implement a system where we could all play as the game master, i.e., we could play outside of the game and activate traps, close doors, etc. Nice idea.
It's interesting.
That's actually a pretty interesting idea.
It is my mind instantly goes to like a top-down sort of isometric game where almost like a tower defense.
You ever play Dungeon Keeper?
Yeah.
Yeah, the old game. Dungeon Keeper, right? The really old game.
Yeah, where you make little goblins and they like you have to build base out.
Was that Windows 98?
And you can go for I used to love that game. You could go like first person and like dig the base out.
You could dig,
yeah,
and you could enjoy those gold veins just that little bit more.
Tag Sam because it pops up on our screen.
It's not a bad idea. What?
I was just saying you should tag Sam because it highlights it for us.
So. Oh yeah, if you tag Sam because it's logged in as me at the moment because we were testing stuff. So yeah, if you tag Sam, it's probably easy for me to see it, but I'll still be able to see Play Deceits. Yeah. Who ate the cake? That is the question.
Who ate the cake?
There's an office mystery
Who ate
this
the
week.
cake?
I feel like we should share this with the Deceit community. There was a birthday cake.
There was a betrayal.
It was
what happened.
Betrayal.
It was a betrayal
someone
of trust.
in the office is clearly infected and has replaced someone. And they haven't replaced. Half a cake.
Yep.
Just gone.
Yep.
The poor innocent birthday cake. Lying there.
Cake.
Poor innocent birthday cake. No, poor innocent birthday cake was lying in wait for the escape of escapes, and half of it disappeared.
It did. And
Nobody knows what happened to that.
A manhunt in the office. Pitchforks and torches were gathered.
We sacrificed the rest of it though to my stomach. I think.
I didn't have
most
any.
of it went. Don't worry, there's another cake in there.
I don't like cake. So it definitely wasn't me.
Eat half of the.
I know it looks like I like cake,
we can eat
but
that,
I
right?
don't.
It's okay. We'll get pancakes or something, or muffins. You like muffins?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm not a sweet guy.
We'll find something. Who ate the cake? No idea. Can jet fuel melt steel beams?
Controversial. 10 years after. Is it 10 years? I don't know. Controversial topic. At Sam Hills, if you enforce the 6, will traits be balanced better? Some traits. That's a good question. Jord is definitely infected as well.
Jord is definitely infected. Yeah,
that's a good question.
We can all agree to that.
Because obviously, if there can only be one of each character,
yes,
balancing would be completely different because you know exactly who's going to be in the game then. So, interesting.
Yeah, it's something we already briefly spoke about. It's a design meeting on that alone, like a game design meeting on that alone. I think the answer is yes. We're not sure exactly how. I mean, some of the traits had to be rebalanced, or I believe they're being rebalanced around the new blackout because obviously there's changes to the way the mechanics work. For example, you can't reduce the blackout time by doing levers anymore, so borrowed time by definition just doesn't work. So there's stuff like that where we're changing it. What we don't want to do is have a pre-existing trait or something like that get in the way of changing the game experience. Because if we see a way to make the game experience better, we would rather do that and then rebalance accordingly, rather than feel restricted to stuff we've already made. So in the case of traits, yes, we are going to rebalance traits and perks, or whatever we want to call them, as we go into that. But we've got a ways to go before that. So we've got quite a lot of time to talk about the design aspects behind that, as well as make sure we're keeping up with what needs to go into this new map. So as far as mission objectives for the month go, yes, it is part of that, and it should hit as those characters hit if we choose to enforce the 6. It might be a case of we put them in and we don't enforce the 6 initially, let people get some unlocks flowing, that kind of thing, and then we do it. Obviously there's those cross-class traits, as I'm going to call them, where you can pull traits from other characters already. Maybe we expand that, maybe we make them all interchangeable, but I like the idea that each character has an identity to it, so hopefully we can factor that in, so that'd be cool. So, how long do you think it will take to get CryEngine to 5.5 for dual GPU support? So Sandra, I believe it was you or somebody I spoke to about dual GPU support before. It's on the CryEngine roadmap. It got pushed back from this CryEngine release to the next one. So have you seen that, the weird roadmap thing they have?
I've glanced at it.
Yeah, it's like not that cool unless you kind of understand it. Yeah, it's public.
Oh, it's public. I was going to say we need to be careful if it's not. If it's not
no,
public.
it is public. No, it's public. It's you can Google it even, which is how I initially found it. But it's mentioned in a few news articles. So if this isn't supposed to be public, then I accept no responsibility because it's publicly available. So their roadmap, for anyone who doesn't know, the underlying stuff behind the game, CryEngine, they have the guys who make that have like a bit of a map with what they expect to put in each release. So they've got the current release with some cool stuff and what went in, and then the next release with some cool stuff they're going to do, and then some stuff forecast for the future and so on, so that they have a roadmap of what they're doing. And I think it's in the next CryEngine update, they moved dual GPU support from this to that, so they were trying to get it in for, I believe, a month ago or so when we updated before. So they delayed that, I believe, to later this year. So dual GPU support should come along with that CryEngine update. I hope that kind of answers the question.
It's quite an interesting talk going on about, I think they're talking about what if there was an infected injection and you could infect someone.
You can infect someone
in the game. It's quite an interesting.
That'd be a pretty
idea.
An office game of Deceit to be on stream. Make it happen. Okay.
We could do it.
We could do that.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, we playtest enough in the office.
We do.
And I just want to say, Joel, if you're listening, is 100% infected all the time.
Joel.
I don't
Joel
know,
and Ollie.
I'm pretty sure they've put in a line of code that just says I need to always be infected.
Yeah, if you're in a game with them, it's Joel and Ollie, without a doubt. And the thing is, they're really good. Like, you try and go in. What is it? I can't remember the name of the guy. A famous Magic the Gathering player. He famously said, one of the hardest parts in any game is to go in and make the right decision when it's worked out wrong the past 10 times.
Yeah.
Right? So the idea is like you go in with a fresh mind every time and you try and make the best decision you can make based on what should be accurate rather than any bias.
So
right?
kill Joel.
So kill Joel every game, basically. That's the moral of that story. Don't do that, just kill Joel.
But the one time you do.
The one time you do, he's innocent, pretty much. He's walking away now.
He knows.
Tighten us. So our office game of Deceit is definitely on the cards. I know some cool dev studios that I enjoy actually do kind of playthroughs with that. They do like a playthrough day. I'll tell you who that is later. So we could definitely be doing that in the near future.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Loot booth stuff is potentially fixed this week. I think it should give you the correct rewards this week, but I think the picking stuff, where you can click it and pick rather than pick from 3 is next week. Respect my Spanish corner. No. I'm obviously going to see. Yeah, cool. Is there a dog/wolf costume coming? No.
Next week? I guess we're talking about cosmetics next week, right?
Cosmetics is going to. Yeah, we're going to talk more about cosmetics next week. There is another costume coming for the Terror, if that was the question. I think that was an underlying question.
I've heard of it. It sounds cool.
It's coming up. Do
they know what it is?
No, they don't.
Do you want
to tell them what it is?
No, I want to keep it quiet for next week for Yogi.
Okay, no, let's let Yogi have the spotlight on that one potentially next week, or I'll just make.
In fact, is it coming out next week? I don't know if it is. I might have hyped that up. There are cosmetics coming out next week, though, right?
Yeah, there are.
Yeah.
And so those right. Anyway,
do you guys have any hobbies to unwind after a terrifying day? I can't see the rest of that question if there is any.
Oh gosh, I was still going in order.
Sorry.
No, it's cool.
I'll go ahead and answer that one now. Do I have any hobbies? I ride a motorbike. I have a very nice motorbike.
Oh, we've slugged motorbikes in. That's the stream done.
We're going to be here for a while.
That's the stream done. Okay. No. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Hobbies: motorbikes.
Carl's got a motorbike as well.
Carlos did. He can't ride it though.
Make a motorbike gang. I might get one next.
We obviously.
Office motorbikes.
I think like 99% of the office play games to unwind. Movies. We just went to watch Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Would recommend. That's very good. Yeah, just the generic stuff. We're normal people.
We are semi-normal people.
Pretty much,
normal
kind of.
I think.
Just not Carlos.
I mean, some of us are playing Heroes of the Storm to unlock Overwatch skins, which is really enjoyable.
I'm
I
a
really
league.
enjoy.
I'm a league
really enjoy that
myself. Right? I'm not gonna play.
Playing those other games to get things in other games. Oh, is that Carlos scowling at something?
Carlos is outside angry.
Hi, Carlos. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so no better than cake. Hot Krispy Kreme glazed donuts. We do have those as well on occasion when we've been extra good. What kind of perks change the Chang? The ones that don't work. What do we need for you to take the wheelchair serious? I feel like that. I feel like the wheelchair itself almost needs a Kickstarter, and it needs to be a stretch goal on its own Kickstarter at this point. He said doing something about the exit, making so the infected can lock one exit. So yeah, we talked a little bit about having stuff where the infected could potentially lock parts of the map. It's still going to be up for debate. And the other thing that you might be confusing it with exit-wise, we talked about some cool exit animations, which are being done still, I believe. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's some basic ones going in first, and then we're going to have some fancy kind of cool escape animations.
Next week I'm actually working on an escape thing for the new map as well, which would be quite nice.
Am I going to be able to get my hat like last? As I dash through and the door closes.
Maybe.
We
could work on that, maybe.
Needs to happen. Okay, so what is new this week? Oh, there's just this little thing called a new map.
Yeah, there's
You should check it out when you download the patch later.
It's not that big. It's not that big a deal.
Just a tiny thing called a map.
Should check the YouTube after this stream and
yeah, we'll put the trailer up. We'll put the trailer up. It's uploaded. It's I just need to put it public.
Yeah, so after the stream we'll make it public, right? And they can
George could probably even do that now if he wanted to.
Well, if he's listening, if not, after the stream we'll make the trailer.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
No one infected should start with injection.
Happy. Sam is reading on his computer and he's going from the top down. I'm just looking at the big TV.
No, just ignore Happy. It's Osty. You can ignore Osty. It's Osty.
Sorry,
don't worry.
Sorry,
It's
Osty.
fine. So yeah, I'm trying to read them in order. You know that thing? It's like a queue. We British people do this. We have manners. we do things in order. The first come, first served. You ever heard that phrase? Maybe? No? Okay. Would it be possible to implement a tutorial before letting players play, or force them to watch the tutorial videos?
Well,
so one of the things we are looking at actually is an in-player experience. So one of the reasons why we introduced tooltips is to make it better for people who are new to the game, especially people in other regions. We found Chinese players, while some of them could actually speak great English, literally cannot get on YouTube. So watching the tutorial videos on YouTube or forcing them to is a little bit silly because they can't go on YouTube, right? So some of the tutorial stuff is out of date. So we're implementing this tooltip system as a stopgap for now. It should make it much, much better for new people to find their direction in the game and find out how stuff works. So maybe they'll have 1 or 2 games where they're a little bit clunky, but they can kind of understand like, oh, right, okay, now I know that goes in there. I don't need to read it next time, and I will just do the thing, which means it will take me a second instead of 3 seconds, and who knows, maybe that's life. But yes, we are looking at making the new player experience a bit better for people. So stay tuned on that very soon. We should have some news. So, will you implement more hiding places in the first stage of the forest map for the infected?
We can do.
Yeah.
Hiding places for the infected. Does he mean the vents, or does he mean actual hiding places?
How to play a certain class during evolve. Yeah. Oh no, not the evolve videos.
Was this?
No. You ever play evolve?
I played the beta. I didn't buy the game.
Okay. Now,
I wish I did. No, that was cryinging as well.
They ruined it, or that's what everybody said. I personally will abstain from an opinion. I thought it was still pretty enjoyable, but they made it so that you had to watch like this really lengthy video
before you actually play.
Before you play. For each class.
Yeah, so that's the thing, right? You don't want to. At the end of the day, we don't want to force people to do anything, right? Yeah. They're playing the game. I mean, a lot of the time anyway. Like if you're playing the game, 2 or 3 games in, you should start understanding how the game works.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm really against like forcing people to watch stuff like unskippable cutscenes and
well, let's say you're a fan, you've watched someone stream it for ages.
Yeah.
And
you're gonna know how to play.
You're just waiting for your paycheck to come in before buying the game or whatever, and you really don't need the tutorial. You've seen all the mechanics. Yep. So saying, hey, you have to watch this 10-minute unskippable tutorial is kind of like, it's just not a good feeling.
Yeah. But yeah, maybe we can implement something that says like the first time you load up the game, it'll say, hey, we have these videos you can watch.
If you want to watch them. Do you want to watch?
Yeah, I would prefer that. Yeah. But don't force people to watch it. It's bad.
Especially now we have Adam as well, so we can make it really shiny and look really
cool. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, we just had a new what do we call him? Multimedia guy?
He's the video dude.
Video dude.
He's a resident video man.
He's a cool guy.
He makes good videos.
Yeah.
You can get Mike to reprise his role as the well-spoken voice actor for Deceit and tell us about how the game works, which is cool. So you should add half-eaten birthday cake to one of the maps. That would be brilliant. It needs to be a caterpillar cake.
Yeah, it was a caterpillar cake from Tesco, I think.
Do you think lethal injection on the last floor is a good item? I feel it's never used in any game.
What item? Which item was that?
GNO HD wanted to know if we thought the lethal injection on the last floor was a good item because he didn't think it was used that much.
I love it.
I really, really like it.
I know some people in the office don't. Like, our office is kind of divided on this subject. Like, some people are like, I hate the lethal injection. I don't think it's a good item. And then the other half are like, I love the injection. It's really part of my sort of strategy. Yeah. I personally love it. I love the lethal injection. I think it forces people to decide if someone's good or bad. The dual objectives, where you gotta have one guy stand on the pad and the other person takes it. They kind of force people to think if you're innocent or not. But like I always find on the first and second floor, it's kind of like somebody help me. I don't really care if you're infected or not. On the top floor, if it's a lethal injection, that's the one that's like, okay, somebody needs to help me, but I need to make sure they're...
It becomes a really important point actually because like, whilst voting still takes the same kind of amount of players to interact, it changes the way they interact. So like 2 players picking up an objective that you might not even see is quite innocuous. Like you maybe don't even see it coming.
Yep.
And you might even help someone to continue to get them to think you're innocent, whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas voting is kind of like, you hear it, you see it, someone has to come over, they have to have that debate.
It's not quite the same rush of like, oh my God, you've deceived me. Like,
yeah. I like the injection because it feels like you make a play and it works or it doesn't, but it feels like it's almost like a coin flip, tiebreaker type feeling where your heart jumps up and you think, okay, I really hope this is right.
Yeah, you really have to just like commit to an answer
now. Like when I injected you earlier in our playtest, I was
and I was the bad guy as well.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know. It was
Yeah,
just,
so even on the good side,
Yeah,
you still have that
with
rush of
my,
like, oh god, I really hope I've made the right decision.
yeah.
Yeah. With voting, you don't, because it's like somebody else has shot him, and then it's like a decision of both of you. With the injection, it's solely up to the person either with the injection or the person helping him get the injection.
Yeah, because you can trust the person, but you might not trust their decision making.
Yep.
But they might have,
Yeah.
you know. So
I
I mean, if
believe
you
it.
ask someone like Pappas, if I could pull Pappas into this room, he would definitely be sitting here going,
He's here, isn't he?
"Injection is
Pappas
amazing."
Gaming?
Yeah, Pappas is there. Pappas is notorious for. He's got very, very good decision making. He was about 6K last season.
Oh, nice.
He's incredibly good at deceit, incredibly good at deceiving, and incredibly forceful in leading people around. People just follow him around for some reason. I'm not sure why you guys do that. But one of the things he does when he's very confident that everything is fine is he injects people with a lethal. And he asks them if they'll sing for him.
I was going to say, it says right here, ask John if he
he'll
ever needed to sing
antidote
for
them
Ah.
the last second.
I like that. That's quite funny.
It's good. It's
That's quite funny.
It's quite funny.
What does he
it's
have
sort
to
of a
sing, or is it
harmless-
just anything?
Just anything.
That's pretty good.
It's kind of a harmless troll. We had some really funny reactions to it. There was a couple of people who got pretty upset, but for the most part, it's genuinely quite funny.
Yeah.
He like you say, he only does it when he antidotes you.
So he
doesn't-
has the injection and the antidote.
Yeah.
That's quite
so
funny.
he only does it when he can guarantee he can save you and not ruin the game for you, basically.
That's
so
pretty funny.
it's pretty funny to watch. It's pretty funny to see everyone
Thanks
else.
for
go back.
boosting his ego.
And the funniest thing, which kind of counters the ego boost, the funniest thing is when people do it to him.
Yeah.
Because people do it to him, and sometimes they don't even have the antidote, and you know it's
Just making him sing.
It's revenge for that awkward moment.
Well, if you give it, you got to take it, right?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, he takes it pretty well. It's pretty funny stuff. He only does it when he can save you. It's a little bit of banter with that. He always, you know, I feel like once you've kind of successfully helped carry everyone to that finish
Yeah.
line, you deserve a little bit of a joke.
Yeah.
So it's good stuff.
It is a
Good stuff.
game- it is a
Don't
game
give it
after
to him.
all.
Don't. I mean, one of you has to be giving it to him. Just
True.
don't do it.
Maybe he's
You
got an
always sing,
accomplice.
right? So if I scroll through our chat a little bit more. Any plans for Deceit movie or animation? Now you will have 6 characters, so the Game Master can be unmasked as Jord. Wait, how do you know the Game Master is Jord? Have you been reading our notes?
Da-na-na-na.
Osti, if you get visited by a terror in the night, Osti, it's entirely your own fault. You've revealed you know too much, clearly, so I won't comment on that. Yeah. And will there be new tutorials, including traps and stuff? Yes, potentially, but they might not take the form of a video. It might be something interactive, so we can add stuff to them easier. But it will be entirely optional. Hopefully, channeled through the game, so that people in any region can, you know, use it. We can subtitle it if it is audio based. We want to make the tutorials as accessible as possible and quite easy for us to update on our end of things. I think that's probably the mission on those. I think that's a safe thing to say. So I think that we're going to take these last couple of questions. I think we're good. So,
cool.
Right. MC8080